Lovely to be here. Yes, Orlando, I'm in ministry at Christ Church Southampton. We're a kind of recent-ish church plant down on the south coast, quite a young church, quite sort of active and busy kind of setup, and loving it. Just had our 10-year anniversary this Sunday. So we're really excited about what the next 10 years will hold. We, like many churches, we divide up our ministry, as it were, into three sort of three sections. Loving God, loving God's people, loving the lost. I know lots of churches do something like that. It helps us with our planning and our resourcing and funding, training, and so on, to remember what we're about: loving God, loving God's people, and loving the lost. And we've been trying to apply the same kind of a division to the ways we think through coming out of lockdown. So loving God, that's for us, that's like our Sunday gatherings and our prayer meetings and things like that. We're in a slightly unusual position, I guess, in that we've had for several weeks now, probably 90% plus of our pre-pandemic congregation attendance coming out Sunday by Sunday. So we are very encouraged by that. We were concerned about regathering quite early on in this whole season. So we went hard and we went early. We've been gathering in person pretty much every week since the beginning of July, apart from the November lockdown, and try to sort of give gentle encouragements for people to get back. We just saw that as such a key means of grace. We wanted to emphasize that. And we're enjoying things at the moment. I have to say, there's lots of talk about singing and all the rest of it. The sweetest music for me was the hubbub of the chat on Sunday morning when I went in there, and most people are sitting in sixes now and chatting. It was, after all months of stony silence, it was such a lovely noise to hear. I'm sure you're similarly encouraged. In terms of content, we've been studying Genesis since September, and we've seen these recurring themes of God's providence. It's been very helpful to us as we try to think through what God is doing through all this and where he's taking us through this season. It's been very kind to us. There's been lots of extraordinary unity among our church elders and the whole church about the direction that we've taken. We decided very early on that we would obey all the law and all the guidance and not an inch further. And that has just meant everything. Every decision has been unanimous that we've taken. And it's been plain sailing, which is unusual, I know. We are so grateful to God for it, though. Interesting, though. I think, John, you made a comment somewhere recently about emerging from lockdown being a bit more of a challenge than going into lockdown. For us, probably the most vigorous discussion we've had on our eldership about policy and so on has been just recently thinking about, as we re-emerge, what are we going to do about our online access for Sundays and prayer meetings? And they're finely balanced arguments. I think some people will think it's just obvious. For us, we found it very hard. In the end, we've decided that we are going to keep live streaming our Sunday mornings, but we're not going to have any Zoom participation in our prayer meeting. That's a surprise to me, because I thought a few months ago, given the massively expanded attendance of our prayer meetings, that we would be going that route. But we've realized that actually prayer is not something that meeting is. It's something we do there, but there's so much more to our prayer meeting that would be compromised if we change it that way. Anyway, so loving God, loving God's people. We've had lots of online fun and games over lockdown. We've tried to be inclusive as much as possible, but we do need to reconnect people, re-socialize people in many ways. So we've tried a number of small things. We've generally speaking, we have occasional curry nights for men and women and so on. We've decided to make them monthly over the summer months. We just had our second men's curry night this week. I was there. They were in gardens and sixes last month. Now they're inside, or ours was at a curry house. But we're just trying to just cross-fertilize people again and expand their horizons beyond their small groups and so on. In terms of our teaching, we've the last couple of years we've taken a break in the summer from our expository series to look at the one another's. We just started another series of 5. Well, this Sunday we start a series of 5 looking at the one another's of the New Testament. We wanted to get people serving alongside each other, as a key thing, or key way of connecting. So we had a big children's outreach event just a couple of weeks ago, massively popular. People came in, there hundreds. It was great in terms of reconnecting with the community, but also really helpful for us. It needed a team of about 50 people to run it. Great. And we're going to go away as a whole church for a weekend away, our first ever church weekend away. We're a church plant, so we're still in the region of kind of firsts, but we're taking out August bank holiday, and people are coming. Everyone's coming. We're using some of the rent savings from lockdown to subsidize people. And then thirdly, finally, loving the lost. We've tried to keep our foot on the gas in terms of evangelism over the lockdown. It's been evangelistically fruitful for us under God, thanks to his grace. We've got 12 people to be baptized in our service coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Really thrilled about that. But we want to keep momentum going. So we've planned a major church mission the week after next. Neil Powell, Simon Gathercole, Sharon Dirks, Jeremy Marshall, Helen Thorne, lots of people are coming to help us. We've had some feeder events. That families event was one of them, quiz night tomorrow. And then a whole week of pretty busy evangelism going on. We're just praying to see more people come from darkness to light. That's the real life week. People are at different places. The challenge for us is going full steam ahead while making sure people don't fall off the back. But that's something we just have to cope with. And we want to keep evangelizing through church planting. We've got a little church planting collective down here called Reach South. And so we've been using the lockdown era to plan out and research our next church plant. We're about to go public with that in a few weeks' time, and the launch next summer, which we pray will keep that momentum going. So there are challenges, but we are encouraged, and God seems to be at work around us. Thank you.